orgasm at the very least.
But again, it's like this concept that they want women to desire them in a way that makes the woman feel unsafe. Seems to be, you know what I mean? The concept here. That's what I keep kind of like hearing is they want a woman who wants them so bad that they
bash their safety away. So
that I'm willing to risk it for this dick right here. Right?
I'll jump off the boat into the ocean for that dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wild. Anyway, sorry. Off topic.
It's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
She said I could take my time to think about it. So if you could give me some advice here, that would be great.
Brother, my advice is you're not that guy. That's basically it. Like you're just not that guy. You have a monogamy mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It feels insulting to you. I don't think it's going to get better. No matter how much she talks about it. It is not insulting to her. She is not trying to insult you. So what are we going to do? Like, what would this conversation be? Like, again, I go back to, we've talked about this intent versus impact. Her intent was not to be insulting.
No.
That's how he feels about it.
Right.
So we come to an impasse, right? She can explain it all day long. She can tell him this would build trust between us. This would make us stronger as a couple. It might for her. It might never for him. So here we are, right? If this is unless you want, I'll say this. I'll toss this out there. Okay. People are.
Take it if you want.
Yeah. They will surprise you all day long. So if you want to try to surprise yourself, you can try to read about it. You can try to, there's tons of great books out there on polyamory or open relationships, E&M, whatever you want to call it, right? You can try to find testimonials from people. You can try to hear success stories. You can find them. Reddit, you can find them. Facebook, whatever. I don't know. You can. There are people who do make it work. There are people who find great benefit from it. You might find great benefit from it, but it might be after you have to climb over all of these other feelings that you have. And I'm not going to say it's just ego because that's kind of rude, right? But it's not what feels safe to him.
Right.
Let's just put it flat like that, right? And if this is something that you're going to have to keep constantly checking your nervous system on, how happy are you going to be with this?
Yeah.
So to me, I think this is where we kind of say, hey, it's been nice, but I don't think our values align. I don't see how I would maintain that unless you want to try.
Because that's the question really is, she's not asking permission to do it. She's
wanting them to do it together.
Right.
Yeah.
She's asking if you would be that person for her.
Yeah.
And you might or you might not, right?
Yep.
But it sounds like she's not saying this to go back to where they were before.
Yeah.
She's not interested in being in a closed relationship
with him.
With you.
Yep. Exactly.
And if that's the hard truth, that's what you're really focusing on.
Right. And this goes back to something that I've said in other episodes is where men don't have to just be endlessly flexible sexually. You can have boundaries. You can have emotional needs. This is a man talking about his emotional needs. Now, in kind of a convoluted way, I grant you by saying, I feel it, this is insulting, but yeah, this is what he's saying. Like he's saying emotionally, this does not align with what I want to experience with a partner. Great, dude. Great. Honor that for yourself. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. It's for a lot of other people. It don't have to be you. It doesn't.
No.
Just because people have this idea that men are supposed to want all the sex in the world, men are supposed to be as freaky as possible, blah, 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 blah. Not every dude is.
Nope.
And that's fine. That's fine. So be you. Pass on this one. It's kind of a tragedy, I guess, that your girlfriend of like a year or something has decided that she wants to do this and this is where we part ways. But tragedies happen all the time.
Yeah.
You can let go. You can move on, whatever.
You're in your 20s.
Yeah, exactly. You're young.
You'll find someone.
It'll be fine. You will also probably find a lot of people who want to maintain monogamy with you. There's a ton of them out there. You will also potentially find a lot of people who will tell you that they want to maintain monogamy with you and fucking won't. And that's sad. And I'm sorry for that. But there's a lot more people who are into monogamy than really E&M or poly. So your odds are good, dude. Take it on the chin and move on.
Just be honest with yourself if you're looking for a long-term or short-term relationship. It's just all about what you want and what you need. She's being honest and open with you and expressing how she feels. But that being said, the genie's out of the bottle. Yeah. And we're not you can't put the cork back on.
And you can thank her for that honesty.
Right.
And say, that's led me to a point of clarity about us. I wish you the best. Bye-bye.
It's not something I'm comfortable with.
Right. Or again, if you want to explore it and you want to see if you can change your mind, fine. Just be honest with yourself. Don't force it. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to accept something to stay with someone simply because they decided it for you. Also,
opening a marriage is consensual between two people. So it's also about constant consent.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a one-time thing.
Not a one-time thing.
You can always
it's like sunscreen.
Retract. Right.
You got to be putting it on all the time. Yeah.
Anyway, that's where we're at on that. Congratulations. You're got a lot of thinking to do.
You've got a, Oh, okay, cool.
So that's going to be cool. Nice little change up. I don't have to read this one.
Let's see what's up.
So I think my wife and I are headed for divorce due to a dead bedroom. I feel though it's a really personal topic and pretty embarrassing to talk to our parents about. And it's most likely going to come to a shock to a lot of people because we're both conventionally attractive and would seem to have the perfect marriage. My therapist has stated that we don't have to tell anyone why, but our closest friends and family will be curious and, probably pry down the road after we've had time to heal from the divorce. So what's a good way to explain this to someone when they ask?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh.
What can be your cover story for the no fault divorce?
The essential fallback is always we grew apart, right? I mean, you can keep it vague. We wanted different things. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we wanted very different things. My wife wanted to be left alone and I wanted sex. Yeah, that's very different.
That is the argument.
I always used to love the old joke. We divorced for religious reasons. My husband thought he was God and I disagreed.
It's been a while.
I love that one.
It's been a while. What do you do in a dead bedroom?
What do you do in a dead bedroom?
How do you
So first of all, he's already in therapy, so he's got that on his side.
That's not like an easy thing to come across.
No, it's not. It's not. But he mentioned he's in therapy. He didn't say our therapist. He said my therapist.
Oh.
So that leads me to believe that part of the reason that they are at the divorce juncture is because the wife is not willing to address it. Dun, dun, dun.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame her.
That's what.
This is where I'm going to be today.
Yeah. You decided to blame the women this time.
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
I mean, it's the only one I know has a therapist, but it's also very male to not give the details of whether your wife is going to therapy or not.
A surprising, okay, that's fair. But a surprising number of women don't want to sit in a room with a therapist and talk about why they're not having sex. Like a surprising number of women want to just avoid it altogether and let it lapse, unfortunately, into what we have going on here.
Are these the women that just aren't satisfied in their marriage in other ways and this is just one more thing?
No. These are just women who've just decided, like, I don't like sex. I don't want it. We shouldn't have to have it. And they will be sometimes very, very angry that their male partners still want to be having sex.
Without a conversation.
Oh, well, they don't want to have the conversation. Yeah. It's crazy, but I see it all the time.
Why don't they want to have the conversation? I feel like...
because they just have an avoidance. The stigma, all the above, yes.
He even said, it's like, what are people going to say about this? Be like, I mean, you don't have to tell anybody anything about your marriage.
You don't. However, I feel like with a lot of your closest friends, maybe not your parents. He said parents in there. And I was like, why would you be telling your parents?
This is going to be easy to explain to my parents. You're like you're going to tell your parents you're not getting any?
I don't know what your family dynamics are, but that's an interesting one. If you're telling your parents about your bedroom activities, wouldn't be a choice I would make, really, but whatever.
Especially if you've been having a dead bedroom situation.
Yeah.
Like, are you keeping them up to date? So
however, it does make me think that maybe there's some conservative Christian something maybe going on in there, right?
Maybe.
Like there might be some cultural or religious reasons that people would wonder, okay, so what happened? And especially parents, especially if parents aren't divorced. So they might be wondering well, so what's the explanation? And I think, honestly, If you have a good relationship with these people and you trust them to be safe people to tell things to, you can very straightforwardly say, yeah, a lot of things were great, but that was where we came to an impasse.
And that's a pretty big impasse.
It is. It is. It determines a lot about your happiness in life. It determines a lot about how bonded you feel together, how connected you are as a couple. A lot of times it's, people's favorite hobby to do with their favorite person. And so to have that missing in a relationship where everything else is great, also for him saying we're conventionally attractive, that's kind of interesting that he chose that to throw in there, but whatever. And saying relatively young, I think it's going to be startling to a lot of people that a young couple where everything else looked really good couldn't get past this thing. And it's embarrassing probably to have to admit, like, yeah, I married someone who ultimately didn't want to have sex with me to the point of divorce. Like, that feels very vulnerable to say to somebody.
That's very...
Yeah.
But it's not, if anything that I've known from this is from doing this, it's never just the bedroom.
No.
Like, there's so many other things that have to go right for the bedroom to work.
Yes, it is. But you also now realize that there's so many things that people have to work on to get the bedroom to go right.
Right.
So imagine this. Okay, so he doesn't want to say, oh, well, we split up because we weren't having sex. Because on the one hand, maybe that looks like the person who wanted to have the sex like an asshole. Like, I trashed my entire perfectly good relationship just because we weren't having sex. On the other hand, if you tell people, well, we split up because we weren't having sex, it makes them look like, oh, well, I was rejected so severely by somebody who gave me all of this other stuff that then I look like a pathetic person and then had to divorce. So either way you slice it, I see kind of in his head why it would be dicey to tell people this.
Sounds like he's got a lot of questions that probably need answers.
Yeah.
Because the idea of it just being like the dead bedroom is the reason we're getting a divorce is very hard for me to swallow. Not that I don't think it's grounds for divorce. I know that there's lots of, what were they, lavender marriages for a very, very long time in history.
Well, let's take this option, right? Let's consider, because, we have people call in and that's great and we love that, but it's this much of a person's life that we get to see, right? So let's play this out a slightly different way. Because one of the couples that I see super often in my office is the relationship where the guy thinks everything's great. Everything else is great. There's this one thing missing. And then what we see often is that one thing, which is sex, is missing because to the wife, not everything is so great, right? So he might be thinking, this is it. This is the only thing. And to her, she's like, that one thing is a manifestation of all of these other larger things. So if we had these two people separately, what they would tell people about why they divorced might be very, very different.
And it could be something as easy as just your approach to how you bring yourself to sex. It could be something as easy as not leaving dishes. Like, how do you expect me to become sexy if there are dishes in the, not being run? Like, if I have to clean your toilet every other day, right?
It could be something like, you don't actually want to have a conversation with me, so therefore I don't want to have sex with you.
Yeah. Totally reasonable.
But to him, it might be fine or an otherwise perfect marriage if we're not actually having conversations, right? Like, let's say he's a dismissive avoidant, right? That that's great. I didn't want to talk to you in the first place, but I do want to have sex. Like, so to him, that idea of what an ideal marriage is would be...
Sounds like both of them.
Yeah, very different from hers.
Right.
Yeah. So my suggestion would be, you're going to have to be truthful with the people that it matters. However, the people that it's going to matter is a very, very small number of people. And you just need to, you can find a place to be truthful about it. Also, if you do continue on with therapy, which I hope that you do, you might come to realize that there was a lot more reasons besides just the dead bedroom. So the point at which you actually talk to somebody outside about this, like family, friends, something like that, the point at which you do that, your reasoning as to why we divorced might evolve as well. So mentioning that also, by the way, that we didn't have sex, that's just one of many reasons maybe at that point in time. But I will say, I think that there's a lot of, I don't want to say stigma because I feel like I use that term too much, but there's a lot of, I don't know what else to call it, stigma against saying that sex in a relationship is important. And if it is to you, and if that became the stumbling block that you two couldn't get past, that is your truth. And the people that care about you should care to hear it and handle that appropriately. I just hope you have good discernment on that one.
And it's still a need.
Yes.
You have a need.
Yeah.
Admit it to yourself that that is something that you do need in a relationship, and that can be something that can enter. It's an important enough issue that it can actually end a relationship, and it's not it's not fault, right? Like it could happen to anybody.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. Also, all of those external factors about like being young and being conventionally attractive, like you would think that that would trend in a good direction for whether or not we're going to have an active sex life as a couple, but apparently not. As you said, it can happen to anybody. It's not necessarily a function of age or socioeconomic status or location or anything like that, or even necessarily communication styles or upbringing or something like that. It's something that almost any couple can lapse into at almost any point in time.
Yeah, I can hear you.
hey, how you doing
Awesome.
today?
Great. What's your question?
Oh, I'm okay. So yeah, I'm 25, recently been on a series of dates with a 41-year-old woman.
Oh.
She's been awesome. We've gone painting, dining, we've done beach dates. We're gearing up to go bungee jumping to do something a bit more adventurous.
Congratulations.
Okay.
But I've been having an uneasy feeling about her recently after recalling some conversations.
Oh.
She says she'll only date younger guys and now wants to explore the possibility of a romantic relationship together.
Okay.
She's also divorced. She has a daughter, and that kind of has me up at night thinking, why does she want someone in their 20s?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, and I've never had any children of my own. I haven't even had a girlfriend before this. So
Nice.
Needless to say, while I like her a lot, there's a small part of me that questions her intentions. Could y'all please tell me, why would a woman her age want to choose someone my age given her situation? And could it be like a distraction from her past or something else?
Oh.
Scott, you're moving into the big leagues, buddy. You're going from like high school to the NFL.
All right. Okay.
It feels like it, yeah. My league.
That's great. Okay.
Wow.
So, okay. So first of all, she's divorced. She has a daughter. Well, one, it's good that she's divorced before y'all have a relationship. So that's nice. I'll take that as a positive. But so you're wondering, why would she possibly want to be with somebody in their 20s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So first of all, what are the bad options? The bad options are she just wants to have like sex all the time with a young hot dude. Like I guess we could call that bad, right? But it's probably like the most surface level of reasons.
Right.
Right.
There's so many reasons.
First of all, have you seen men in their 40s? Like, not a lot of them are great. So her dating pool
I am
is
offended.
a little bit different. Okay. You can be offended over there. That's
Offended all
fine.
you want.
It's fine. But so the one reason could be just like very, very superficial, right? Next reason could be like some actual stuff. Okay. And you said like, could she maybe just like, could you just be a distraction or like just kind of like, a happy relationship versus the bad one she's been in? Yeah, very likely. There's a lot of people out there who will go from a crap relationship to one that feels very good.
Couldn't it be to a point that they feel like because they've been in a bad relationship for so long that they've missed out?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like,
Sure.
I didn't go to college. I always wanted to go to college.
I think it's a very natural process for somebody to go through one relationship and go, okay, well, I didn't like any of that. What do I want to experience instead? Right? And so she's looking at all of the things that happened in the marriage going, okay, I don't want that guy ever again. So let's just veer to the other direction.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess what a 40-year-old woman would want with a 20-year-old dude, first of all, just talking about all the dates you've taken her on, you're fun as shit.
Right.
Okay.
I'm like, you're not giving yourself enough credit over here, buddy.
Again, I don't know too many old men who want to go do like pottery and painting and walking on the beach. Like
Every weekend?
you've got energy.
Every weekend?
You're a creative person. Like that sounds very appealing, right? She might feel like she's also still got a lot of life left, like wants to be active, wants to do fun things. And an old geezer in his 50s is not going to want to go do those things with her, right? So there could be that's very attractive. You also, your goals in your life might actually align with her goals in her life.
Right.
Right? Well, think of it this way. Coming out of a marriage, maybe she didn't explore a lot of what, and also raising a kid, maybe she didn't really explore a lot of the goals that she had for herself in her life. She might be starting a different career. She might be like wanting to learn new things, expand a little bit. And a young man in his 20s is kind of all about expansion.
Right.
There's
growth.
a lot. Yeah, exactly.
If you're in a 13-year relationship and you're kind of stagnated, the best thing that you're going to think of is jumping in the deep end if you've been playing in the kiddie pool for 13 years.
Exactly.
Grass is always greener situation.
Yeah. So there really could be some good, like, energetic and personality things about the two of you that line up. Now, the thing I want you to think about is, what are you doing by being with this woman?
Right.
Right? Because you said, I haven't had kids. This is my first relationship. So are you wanting to have kids at some point? You may or may not know. Okay. But the point at which you realize I do want to have kids, this might not be the partner for you.
Well, she's already got a kid.
Right.
So you're also throwing another thing in there. If you don't want to have kids, there's already a kid.
But the kid is in their 20s.
It's still a kid.
I understand, but it's not like he's going to really do a lot of heavy stepdaddy lifting.
And honestly, it's the best situation.
That's kind of nice.
It's nice.
Yeah. As long as you don't try to bang the daughter, you'll be fine.
Don't even.
Yeah, God, no.
Sorry, that's an occupational hazard. We hear a lot of crazy stories, so every now and then, right?
No, that's fair. Yeah.
That's fair. But I think number one, don't sell yourself short. Like
it sounds like you have a lot to bring to the table, Scott.
But being in his 20s, he may not realize. Let's all be honest, right?
True. Who did?
Yeah. Knew? And also, love you, but not having had a girlfriend before, you might not have a lot of confidence. So not only do you maybe not know the good things about you, you may not have confidence that somebody would be attracted to those good things either. Because for guys, a lot of times, having had a past relationship is like evidence that I am actually good and acceptable.
True.
Right? So you may still have questions like that going on that may or may not have anything to do with her treatment. Okay. So here's what I would tell you, or what I would tell any guy dating anybody, or anybody dating anybody. You need to focus on, how do I feel with her? How does she make me feel? What is the flow like in the relationship? Do I feel respected? Do I feel heard? Do I feel like somewhat of an equal to her? Does she value the things that I bring? Like all of those questions about disregard the numbers, disregard who says what about whatever, and just ask yourself, what does it feel like being in that relationship with that person? And is it what I really want? And then you go along until you realize, okay, well, this isn't what I want. And that's kind of what anybody does. And then, you choose something different if that's what happens. If not, if it's still what you want, you just keep going ad infinitum.
Right. If you don't have hard boundaries that are pressing up against hers, you're going to get to learn about boundaries and what boundaries you have and what boundaries you don't have. And
maybe being with her, could help you reflect on where you want to go in your life and what you want out of your life. That's one of the benefits also for young men to be with older women.
There's a lot of benefits.
There's a Seiko, there's a lot of benefits.
There's a lot of benefits.
But not the least among those is any wisdom that she may have or any support that she can give you.
Right.
Right. And a guy in his 20s, might need a little direction, a little help. That's not bad.
The problem I'm going to have for you, and you're going to have at the end of your relationship, is that you're going to start, if it doesn't go forward and you go back to dating women your own age, it's going to be very difficult for you to have become accustomed to that maturity and that kind of level, and bring that back in.
Yeah.
You're essentially taking a step back 5 or 10 years. That can be
also sex.
Also the sex. Yeah.
Because a woman in her 40s knows every nook and cranny of everything.
And you're 25 and you can keep up. She's going to take advantage of it.
And you're going to get a hell of an education. So
yeah, you will benefit a lot of things out of this.
That's right.
401k contributions. It's fantastic.
That's right.
And she'll teach you.
And she will too.
Yep.
So, yeah. And thinking that somebody may benefit from being in a relationship with you is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, we should be able to benefit from being in a relationship with partners. They should add to our lives, not take from them. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
I think you're all right.
Thank you guys. That makes me feel a lot better. I'm gonna sit and reflect on it.
Okay. Good deal. Well, thanks
Great.
for calling.
Thanks for calling. So that was great.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
You have a
bye.
wonderful
Appreciate
day.
it.
Thanks. Oh,
What was the problem? All right. So today I've got an email
okay.
and I'm going to read it
Okay.
again. I'm sorry.
Which, by the way, I do not blame. Listen, I've been out. I've been absentee. I do not blame you people for not blowing up the hotline when I'm not putting out content. Like, I wouldn't want to get in line for a closed shop either. So I kind of understand. But please, if you can see your way to it, 682-422-7732. Again, 682-422-7732. Call, leave us your stories, your comments, your critiques, anything.
Or you can email us.
At hello@betweensessionspodcast.com. That is hello@betweensessionspodcast.com.
So
right.
with
Yes.
that being said, that is where the email came from.
Okay, great. Go.
Right.
Let's go.
All right, guys. So this is from Tara. And Tara says, my husband and I have a strained relationship, and I would prefer to separate, but he is completely against divorce.
Starting off good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
We're really getting it out there. Several years ago, I put the responsibility on him to find a therapist for us if he wanted to salvage our relationship. And now,
Okay, so she said you don't want a divorce, find us a therapist.
right. So
Fair. That's-
if we're going to work on it, we need professional help to work on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And only now has he found us a therapist, and we have been going almost every week for about 4 months. Good progress.
Solid.
Both of you together.
Okay.
Once a week.
Yeah.
That's what, 16
That's
sessions already?
That's the recommended dosage, yes.
I wonder if they've cried.
I bet somebody has.
Oh, I bet somebody
Maybe
has.
it's the therapist.
Could be the therapist. My husband really seems to respect the therapist he chose. Male, former law enforcement, presumably.
Hold on. The arc from police to therapist is crazy.
No, he's a social profiler,
That's-
right? Isn't that like their specialty? I've watched all the Dick Wolf shows. Like
Dick
that's,
Wolf.
Like
I'm
those
pretty
cops
sure
know
we
everything.
can't say that on TV. That's my favorite 40 Rock quote.
That's so funny.
Okay. Anyways,
Tina
yeah,
Fey is amazing.
totally. Former-
Presumably because they have a lot in common, and I think he is great as well.
Okay.
He gives a lot of very unbiased and constructive feedback to both of us. He helps us communicate our feelings in the session. Okay? Sounds
Okay.
like he's doing his job.
Yeah.
The problem is that my husband will participate in the session, but he doesn't use any of it outside of the session.
Oh,
Okay? So
okay.
application
So we're
is
just
half the battle.
sandbagging it here.
Right. You're just letting the water build up until the next session.
That would be a problem.
Yeah. Especially, I'm sure she has questions after. Not even like the drive home. That's crazy.
Just silence, angry silence.
He still doesn't communicate respectfully with me.
Either
He
one.
still gets extremely defensive when I talk about my feelings or frustrations or overall. He just avoids talking to me.
That's healthy.
As for me, I can try to use the new tools when when he's talking to me, but I rarely will because she doesn't get talked to.
That's right.
So she's also losing the ability to
Put me in, coach.
connect and improve herself because of this.
So even if she could do something, he's not opening the door for
She
her.
is doing something, and she can't even practice.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Like she can't even practice
can't-
the workout.
Yeah. Awesome.
So you're teaching you have a coach and you have a personal trainer for hockey, but you locked the skating rink every time you leave.
That's great.
Because if you're not there with the coach, you're not playing hockey.
This
Got
guy
it.
sounds really cool.
So good. Watch Heated Rivalry. It's amazing.
Yeah.
At our most recent session, our therapist gave us homework
I love
and
that.
setting aside time for one another each night after we put our kids to bed. Oh,
Very
we have
important.
Kids. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Another
Not surprised.
point.
Yeah.
However, this week we only did that on one night. That means the other 6 nights 6 days, we didn't really talk to each other at all.
That's not a good average.
1 and 6. What is a good average? 5 and 6?
Well,
4 and 6?
if he was saying every night, what's really good is every night.
It's not a passing grade, that's for
But
sure.
it's, yeah.
You're not doing your
Exactly.
homework, bud.
Yeah, right. You're scoring like a 20
Yeah.
out of 100.
You're
Like,
not doing it.
come on. And it makes me feel, I don't know, she
Okay.
didn't say the order, but it makes me feel like that one time of talking was like so skin crawlingly bad for him that he's like, nah, I'm not doing this again.
I want to believe that he was so skin crawlingly good at it that he didn't feel like he needed it for the next 6
Okay,
weeks,
let's
6
give him-
days. You know, like he just crushed it. He was like, no point in talking about feelings anymore. I did it.
Doesn't seem like she thinks so, but okay.
She has questions.
I'll let you run with that. We'll let Sydney be the optimist today.
I am the optimist.
That's a switch for him. So
I'm defending the man. Shocking. Shocking.
That
Especially the avoidant man.
that is shocking for you. That is shocking for you.
Okay, I'm defending the avoidant. That's not shocking.
That's
the man
not
part is.
shocking. Yes.
Okay, we have a lot of
Hello, my
scheduling
name is Sydney,
conflicts.
and I am an avoidant attachment style.
I have an avoidant attachment style.
Okay.
I learned that I avoid a lot of things. We have a lot of scheduling conflicts because of my husband's work, but on his days off, he just sits and plays video games. So that's your problem. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now.
Yeah, she's a PlayStation widow.
Yeah, she is. People don't talk about that enough.
Yep.
One day a week, I tried to talk to him about something, and he just walked away from me, went to the basement, watched a movie by himself because he said I wasn't treating him nicely. You know what, though?
Oh,
As an avoidant, that's a conversation.
that's a conversation. You think
I
counts?
feel like him expressing that
You're not
he
treating me
isn't
nicely.
treating me well. Like
Mm.
the fact that he's bringing up any kind of like issue is a step.
Ah.
He could just
First
go
of
down
all,
there and acknowledge.
No. First of all, we don't know that it's a step.
That's true.
We don't know if that's maybe their baseline.
Sounds like it is their base.
It does, because it's kind of like she's saying he's not doing anything different, or
But-
at least so little different.
But I would argue that it says here that she wasn't. I wasn't treating him nicely. That stuck in her mind. So maybe it is new.
Yeah, maybe.
But he could just be using it as a defensive tactic to go play Call of Duty, and that's to be fair.
But is it a conversation if you make a declarative statement and then walk off?
As an avoidant, yes.
No,
Because
that's not.
I need like 4 hours to process what I just said, much less what is going to be said after it.
Maybe in your head it is movement, but I struggle to label it a conversation. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
I will say movement. I'm not going to give a conversation.
I was like,
you
it's
are right
more
on that.
of
There's
just
not a back
like
and forth.
A memo that got sent out
Didn't you get the thing I sent you? Yeah.
rather than a
Exactly.
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I got it. She didn't treat him nicely. He
Mm.
threw a fit and went and watched a movie by himself. I would be interested, one, in listening to the conversations he's having while playing video games because those
Are
waiting rooms are
bad.
brutal.
Yeah.
Two, what
What?
movie was he watching?
I knew you were going to say that. I absolutely knew
It
you
can
were going to say
speak
that.
to like where you are mentally.
Yeah.
Like I've been watching a lot of like 1960s like Japanese Ronin movies lately, and I'm like, oh, this is just John Wick.
yeah.
John Wick just completely ripped off the 1960s Japanese context. But it speaks to where my head is mentally. I'm not.
How does that speak to where your head is mentally?
It's very calming. Like
combat
for
movies?
action movies,
Actually,
they're
oh.
very calm.
Okay.
Because there's not a lot of violence because it happens real quick.
Yeah.
In the 1960s, they didn't do like the Bruce Lee where it like
okay.
elongates it.
Yeah.
It was like sword play. Like literally, it's like, oh, somebody's hand just got cut off. Like this duel is over.
Is it also possibly satisfying because like the good guy is triumphing? Is that part of it maybe?
So these are Ronin stories. There's no such thing as a good guy.
Well, the
But
person you're kind of rooting for, I
there's
guess.
the person who isn't killing the villagers,
Oh, yeah, that's
you know?
kind of what I'm saying.
but
There's that.
they killed a lot of other people.
I'm not saying they're not morally gray.
It's
Okay.
all gray.
Okay. All right, get back to the email.
Okay.
Okay.
Our therapist has encouraged me to avoid setting expectations in my marriage because that leads to disappointment and further resentment. Yikes. And that is what I expect a man to say.
Yeah. I don't
This guy.
I feel like in big ways, okay, like me talking about having gone missing for Valentine's Day.
Right.
I feel like if you have an expectation that X, Y, and Z has to happen on Valentine's Day, then yeah, you're setting yourself up for some disappointment. If you have an expectation that we mention that it's Valentine's Day as a bare minimum, I don't think that that's really a big expectation. You know what I mean? Also, I feel like part of what we're talking about here is like just kind of standards of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is how we will and will not behave with one another. I wouldn't call that necessarily a big expectation. You know what I mean? Like I feel like an expectation is maybe like a once and every now and then kind of thing, not reciprocity. I don't think reciprocity is necessarily that big of an expectation. Does that make sense?
I mean, yes, it does make sense. But in this case, it sounds like she wants to have that communication. The expectation was set by the therapist for everybody. So first and foremost, the therapist is the one that assigned homework of spending an hour talking to everybody.
Yeah.
So the expectation was set for the therapist to be like, well, you probably shouldn't put expectations because then you'll have disappointment and further resentment. Be like, you set the expectation.
You're like, what is this guy on?
Yeah.
You have to be
who are we
consistent.
talking to here?
All right, fair.
So avoidance running the world. This is avoidant talking to an avoidant therapist in avoidant ways. I get it. Okay. I don't believe in it, but I definitely get what's going on here.
But it's running amok.
Right. So this is something I've been working especially hard on. When he lets me down or doesn't respond or react in the way I expect, I try not to let it bother me. Okay.
Okay.
I have sort of grown to the expect nothing from him. Okay, so that's...
Okay. So she's trying her best to embrace whatever advice this is.
I have sort of grown to just expect nothing from him. That sounds like she's letting go.
Yeah.
Not growing.
Yeah. But here's the thing. If you try to lower your expectations and then someone actually does something, okay, win-win, right? But if you try to lower your expectations and they still do nothing, everybody loses.
All right, so we have 3 sentences left of this.
Okay.
Comment in the bottom if you think something positive comes out of those 3 sentences.
What's your guess?
What's your guess?
Type it in the chat.
Now we're talking it 3 times a day, like 3 times a week? Like,
yeah.
Let me know. I try not to let it bother me. I've sort of grown to expect nothing from him. But the problem is I feel like I have become more numb than ever. Right.
Yeah.
She started this off saying she wanted a divorce. I've been unhappy in my marriage for a long time, but trying to ignore the lack of effort feels like I've given up.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. See?
Right.
Yeah.
You
start to detach.
Is this something that comes with time? Yeah. Complete disconnection comes from that in time.
Yeah.
Have you seen those 1950s marriages where the wife is just dousing caffeine and anxiety pills?
I think what she's trying to ask is, would something catch fire for him at some point? Right? Like, is he going to put the wires together and start figuring out how to do the thing in therapy?
Right. The question is he doing, how good is he doing in therapy? Like, because she's talking about giving him the praise of like, we're in therapy, we're working on it together, we're not working on anything outside of it. Is it so stellar in that hour?
The feeling I'm getting off of this, and kind of to your point, maybe he's acting good. He's faking good in therapy.
Right.
He's nodding. Yes, I understand. And then there's nothing that carries over. So he's just doing lip service, basically, right about now. Okay. My advice, instead of asking, is he going to pick up the skills at some point in time? That's bad advice, I would say, because we don't know when that would be. Even if he does, I can't put a timeline on it.
And you shouldn't put an expectation of that.
Sydney.
It's going to be...
that part, yeah, I would say. Yeah, don't put an expectation that he will change or that it's going to happen. Like, you could for yourself inwardly say, like, okay, I'm going to give this another 6 months, and then if I don't see anything, I'm going to file. Okay, that's kind of fine. I wouldn't say it to him, right? But knowing your boundaries with things, or your limitations, shall we say, with things, that's fine. My advice is this. If you're seeing the therapist, you like the therapist, call your husband out in therapy.
Have the conversation there.
Yes, tell the therapist, he sits here, he nods, he agrees, but he does nothing I don't see progress. Any of these skills that we're talking about in this room stay in this room. They don't follow us home. So what's up with that? And then have the therapist dive in with him. Hey, what's going on? Is there something blocking that you can't utilize these skills? One of the things I say in therapy very often is there's always a gap between insight and implementation. We've gotten insight, but we're lacking the implementation. So what's the problem, right? And honestly, that's the bulk of therapy. Like most people kind of know what they should be doing, or they kind of know the direction they want to go in. They just can't, and they can't figure out what's stopping them from getting there. That's the therapist's job. So to me, if you like the therapist, make the therapist do his job.
Right. And not tell you to set your expectations.
Right,
lower.
exactly. Part of the problem with this, though, I'll just go ahead and say, I'm not trying to shit on the therapist. We definitely need more men as therapists, right? Regardless of...
Do we?
We do. No, we do. We honestly do. Especially for men.
I mean, it was all developed by men, so...
I understand.
And they didn't do the best job.
I'm not saying, like carry old Freudian shit forward. I'm not saying that, but like...
How is your relationship with your mother?
Your mother. Have you seen that girl on TikTok who does the cunty Freud?
No.
Oh, I have to send it to you. It's so
I would
funny.
cry.
She has this like crocheted beard and she's like, hello, it's Conti Freud. I'm here again. And it gives the best. It's just hilarious. Anyways, sorry, focus.
We are
Squirrel.
Jungians in this facility. We are not Freudian.
Oh my God. So here's the thing. Yes, I think that we do need more male therapists, but I think part of the problem is that when you are in a relationship where everything feels so bad,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go into the therapy room and it feels good, it's kind of like the avoidant thing where it's like, I don't want to wreck the calm, right?
For sure.
So you don't want to, like, the therapy's nice and he seems amenable and he sounds like he's listening. So I don't really want to kneecap him and make it to where he doesn't. But you can't have that attitude. You can't be too precious with this. You have to call it out and say, like, and you don't have to be mean. You can just say, like, I don't understand. And maybe we should explore that.
I understand, like, from a male perspective, especially having done relationship therapy in certain ways. I understand, like, fawning. I understand kind of trying to keep the peace. And I understand not wanting to speak up in fear of being ganged up on.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I understand that. It totally makes sense to me.
Sure.
That's
But
probably not what's happening here. But
probably not what's happening
I do
here.
understand where the hesitation would come from speaking up about this. But
Yeah.
honestly, she's been very articulate in this email. Like, I feel like she has said this before.
Yeah.
She's put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah. Also, he could be one of those people that any way that she tries to phrase something is not good enough. Any way that she tries to think it through, that to be nice, to be curious, to be this, to be that, it always hits him and he becomes defensive and critical.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Right? So there may be no way to actually address this on their own, especially if he won't talk to her. But if he is actually reporting for therapy, putting his ass on the couch, use that time and align with the therapist to say, like, I love everything that we're doing in here. I don't see that it has legs outside of here. And we need to figure out why.
You could also take advantage of that situation if you can financially afford it, of going twice a week instead of once a week. If he won't give you the more time that you need to build or feel like you need to build that relationship, you could always ask for more time with the therapist.
You could also just suggest that he speak to the therapist one-on-one.
True that.
Because maybe he doesn't really understand the disconnect. And if you're out of the room, he can, freely explore what's going on with the therapist in a way that he would feel pressured or judged if she's sitting there.
True. True.
There's many different ways to skin this cat, but it all kind of like goes back to get back in the room with the therapist and see what can be done.
Keep working. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hi, Chris. How can I help?
Hi. So basically, my girlfriend is wanting to explore kink, but honestly, it's starting to feel like abuse. She brought it up a few months ago, and I wasn't exactly receptive, but she insisted it was the only way she could enjoy sex.
Ooh.
At first, it was just her being on top, and then the choking started.
Jesus.
Finally, tonight, though, we got into an argument at work because she wanted to do an easier cleaning task, and I took it from her. when we went to go to bed that night, she told me she wanted to blindfold me. That was new, but I accepted. After I was in position, she started calling me a bitch, and she said she wanted to hit me, but wouldn't because she loved me. It was all very weird, and I started zoning out to get through it, but I feel like she just hates me at this point and is using kink as an excuse.
Oh.
Also, yeah, I should mention that we've been together for 4 years.
Wow.
Holy Moses. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So all of this sounds super rough that you're going through right now. The way that you're talking about this, I'm going to guess that you two didn't sit down and have a discussion about like what we're willing to try and what we're not willing to try. Is that correct?
Not too thoroughly, no.
Okay. So when she said she wanted to start trying kink, you didn't say, okay, here's what I will do and what I will not do, right?
Yeah, we didn't have, I guess, too great of a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because to me, this doesn't sound like kink. That would make the difference there is that if we had a conversation about boundaries, what we're curious about, hard limits, things like that, I would say that's more along the lines of kink. This just sounds like,
where's the consent?
Yeah.
This just sounds like
it's not very informed consent. I don't think, because you also said like, oh, she just like started choking you and just kind of started blindfolding you.
Has that ever been something you guys had explored in your relationship? Like, had you ever tried to choke her?
No, yeah. So it really caught me off guard.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say, you saying it's starting to feel like she just hates me. It's also not kink when somebody does something to you in a punitive way after an argument. Like you can't really go into a kink situation where there's a power differential when there's kind of like bad energy between the two of you. Like that's not how we resolve things. That's not healthy. Okay. I would also say that there's probably, like most of these calls that we get, there's probably a lot more reasons other than just this thing that we're talking about that you're starting to think like maybe she's actually not wanting to be in a relationship with me.
Right. Is she using this as a skill to push you away?
Or something that she's using to try to like stay engaged with the relationship when she doesn't actually want to be there. So I guess my question would be like, you need to ask yourself, like, do you feel loved and appreciated in other ways in the relationship?
Right. Does she support you after the kink?
Yeah, in all the other ways.
How's the aftercare? Is that?
I don't even know that this woman knows what aftercare is. Like, it just sounds like.
I don't think she knows what kink is.
I don't think she does either. This is rough, man. But I should say this, like, I know you've been together 4 years. It sounds like, you at least work together. I don't know if y'all live together. Do you live together?
We do.
Okay. That can make it really hard. But if you're looking at the rest of the relationship and you're like, yeah, I just don't know that she's really invested, or she's been treating me like hella mean in a bunch of other ways, this might be time for y'all to hit up some therapy. It might be time to have some deep talks about where are we going? What the hell is this? I don't really like how you're treating me. And I'm just going to give a big shout out to say that a lot of times as a male, you're not going to feel like you can have boundaries with sex. You feel like you have to just be a fuck robot all the time, like just ready to go and do anything all the time. But you can have boundaries. You can say, I don't want to be choked. I don't want to be blindfolded. That does not feel sexy or good to me. And that's okay. And a good relationship should make room for that. Right?
But that starts with communication.
It does.
Our last thing we have today is Scott has an email.
Okay.
And he has a question.
Great.
Let's figure out what it is.
You going to try to read this one too?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to try.
You're doing so great, buddy.
I try a lot of things.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
You're really growing.
This is not me in the 5th grade, just so we're on the same page. No one was this encouraging when I was in the 5th grade.
Wow. Maybe if they had been,
And it's the worst part is my whole family are readers.
Yeah.
Like all of them are just
annoying.
Are just ridiculous. My brother's like a hyperlexic.
Yeah.
He can read something one time, maintain an entire book. My dad literally he was reading books the entire time I was growing up and just watching him just burn through it. He tried to sit with me a few times and do the things. And I'm like, it had to have killed him because
That's
I know
so
him
sad.
and my brother just they're just page
Yeah.
flippers, and I'm sitting here like click,
Oh,
click.
good for you though.
But after college, I tried it again,
Yeah.
and come to find out it gets better.
It does get better. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Keep trying.
Okay.
And honestly, audiobooks helped a lot because
Yeah.
it helps frame how you read it in your own mind. Like
Uh-huh.
it gives you kind of a pace,
Yeah.
which is
No-
pretty cool.
No doubt.
Okay, so Scott in the email has, my girlfriend and I have been dating for a little over a year now. Recently, she asked if we could be in an open relationship.
All right.
I honestly don't know what she expects me to say. Same. I'm interested in what
Okay.
you did say, though.
Yep.
The way she framed it, it was clear. It was very calm and modern. She said it wasn't about loving me less. It will not wanting to feel restricted and wanting to explore experiences while we're still young. We're both in our 20s. I mean,
Okay.
that's pretty progressive.
Yeah.
Usually we don't hit that till we're in our 40s.
And how long
Um,
have they been together?
Said a few years.
Oh.
No, a little over a year.
Oh.
No, it's too soon.
Okay. So
Sorry, bud.
that makes me wonder if she knew this about herself even before the relationship.
Yeah, did she bring it up on the first date? Because
Do you have to bring that up on the first date?
I mean, I kind of feel like you do.
Maybe.
You
Yeah,
know,
maybe.
like I
That
feel
might
like
be
if
a-
you really want to like get the point,
If you really know that this is what
this
I
is
want my
what
life
you
to
want.
look like.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a first date conversation, which is super weird and it can drive a lot of people away. But also, that's
also-
why I know you're not telling them on your first date because you're afraid you're going to drive them away. But you're going to drive them away eventually anyway.
It might be a good litmus test.
Right.
Yeah.
If they stay, then you're in a whole nother world. It's like, oh, okay, so you're cool with that
There you
part
go,
of it.
great.
Let's see what else you can do.
You're pre-approved.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Honest communication, somewhat.
Yeah.
She talked about
Okay.
how this would be honestly communication and how some couples make it work. Okay.
Okay. Some do.
Some,
yeah.
some absolutely do.
That's
they go
true.
decades married with this.
Don't know if it's
situation.
y'all.
Maybe. I mean, it's only been a year, so I'm glad you're bringing it up now.
Yeah.
But if I'm being completely honest, I just feel insulted. Ooh, that's not a good approach about this. People can dress it up in language of growth or exploration, but at the gut level, it sounds like she's saying she wants to stability I provide while also seeking what else is out there.
Mm.
That's a fair concern. That's a fair thought.
Okay.
Little
Now, saying she wants to seek what else is out there makes it sound like she's trying to explore her options. And like
That's
he's
true.
afraid she'll find somebody better and jump ship kind of vibe.
She might.
She might.
She might.
However,
But she could also do that without you.
that's
More importantly, she's bringing it up to you.
Yep.
Because she wants to continue being in a relationship with you.
anyways. Okay.
Just so everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. I don't know if he's on that page.
Definitely not. Somebody else out there. It's hard not to interpret that as a lack of real attraction.
Ooh, buddy.
I get it. I mean,
I do.
probably.
He
yeah.
just doesn't sound like that type of guy.
It's a
He
lot of
just doesn't-
questioning.
You're not that guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
If someone is genuinely into you, the instinct usually isn't to go looking for additional options. The request itself makes me feel like I'm the safe choice, not the desired one. Relate,
Ooh.
okay?
Guys keep bringing up that phrase "safe choice," and I'm so curious about this concept that men feeling as though their partner choosing them was safe is an insult.
This is reading real Chadley.
It-
You know,
It is,
just
but
throwing it out there. I think, and we all saw the TikToks, man versus bear.
Yeah.
Safe is not the word that
No.
they're using to describe being in
No.
a relationship with a man or living with a man.
that's true. However, if a woman does choose a man, hopefully that means she thinks that he's safe. But men read that as a negative.
Right. And this is a very hard concept to bring up to somebody.
Yeah.
Like this is, especially in your 20s, like that's to
But-
know that about yourself.
But he said the safe choice versus the desirable choice. So to him, safe and desired seem to be opposites. And that's what I find interesting. Because safe and desired aren't opposites if you think about it linguistically.
If you read the book,
But
if you read the book Come As You Are,
yeah,
it will show you that those two things are not mutually exclusive.
not opposites. And the level of safety is required for women to often feel sexual.
Right.
At least in some part.
At least
right?
to orgasm, at the very least.
But again, it's like this concept that they want women to desire them in a way that makes the woman feel unsafe. Seems to be, you know what I mean? The concept here. That's what I keep kind of like hearing is they want a woman who wants them so bad that they
bash their safety away. So
that I'm willing to risk it for this dick right here. Right?
I'll jump off the boat into the ocean
Yes.
for that dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wild. Anyway, sorry. Off topic.
It's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
She said I could take my time to think about it. So if you could give me some advice here, that would be great.
Brother, my advice is you're not that guy. That's basically it. Like you're just not that guy. You have a monogamy mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It feels insulting to you. I don't think it's going to get better. No matter how much she talks about it. It is not insulting to her. She is not trying to insult you. So what are we going to do? Like, what would this conversation be? Like, again, I go back to, we've talked about this intent versus impact. Her intent was not to be insulting.
No.
That's how he feels about it.
Right.
So we come to an impasse, right? She can explain it all day long. She can tell him this would build trust between us. This would make us stronger as a couple. It might for her. It might never for him. So here we are, right? If this is unless you want, I'll say this. I'll toss this out there. Okay. People are.
Take it if you want.
Yeah. They will surprise you all day long. So if you want to try to surprise yourself, you can try to read about it. You can try to, there's tons of great books out there on polyamory or open relationships, E&M, whatever you want to call it, right? You can try to find testimonials from people. You can try to hear success stories. You can find them. Reddit, you can find them. Facebook, whatever. I don't know. You can. There are people who do make it work. There are people who find great benefit from it. You might find great benefit from it, but it might be after you have to climb over all of these other feelings that you have. And I'm not going to say it's just ego because that's kind of rude, right? But it's not what feels safe to him.
Right.
Let's just put it flat like that, right? And if this is something that you're going to have to keep constantly checking your nervous system on, how happy are you going to be with this?
Yeah.
So to me, I think this is where we kind of say, hey, it's been nice, but I don't think our values align. I don't see how I would maintain that unless you want to try.
Because that's the question really is she's not asking permission to do it. She's
wanting them to do it together.
Right.
Yeah.
She's asking if you would be that person for her.
Yeah.
And you might or you might not, right?
Yep.
But it sounds like she's not saying this to go back to where they were before.
Yeah.
She's not interested in being in a closed relationship
with him.
With you.
Yep. Exactly.
And if that's the hard truth, that's what you're really focusing on.
Right. And this goes back to something that I've said in other episodes is where men don't have to just be endlessly flexible sexually. You can have boundaries. You can have emotional needs. This is a man talking about his emotional needs. Now, in kind of a convoluted way, I grant you, by saying, I feel it, this is insulting, but yeah, this is what he's saying. Like, he's saying emotionally, this does not align with what I want to experience with a partner. Great, dude. Great. Honor that for yourself. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. It's for a lot of other people. It don't have to be you. It doesn't.
No.
Just because people have this idea that men are supposed to want all the sex in the world, men are supposed to be as freaky as possible, blah, 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 blah. Not every dude is.
Nope.
And that's fine. That's fine. So be you. Pass on this one. It's kind of a tragedy, I guess, that your girlfriend of like a year or something has decided that she wants to do this and this is where we part ways. But tragedies happen all the time.
Yeah.
You can let go, you can move on, whatever.
You're in your 20s.
Yeah, exactly. You're young.
You'll find someone.
It'll be fine. You will also probably find a lot of people who want to maintain monogamy with you. There's a ton of them out there. You will also potentially find a lot of people who will tell you that they want to maintain monogamy with you and fucking won't. And that's sad. And I'm sorry for that. But there's a lot more people who are into monogamy than really E&M or poly. So your odds are good, dude. Take it on the chin and move on.
Just be honest with yourself if you're looking for a long-term or short-term
Yep.
relationship. It's just all about what you want and what you need. She's being honest and open with you and expressing how she feels. But
Yep.
that being said, the genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And you can't put the cork back on.
And you can thank her for that honesty.
Right.
And say, that's led me to a point of clarity about us. I wish you the best. Bye-bye.
It's not something I'm comfortable with.
Right. Or again, if you want to explore it and you want to see if you can change your mind, fine. Just be honest with yourself. Don't force it. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to accept something to stay with someone simply because they decided it for you.
Also, opening a marriage is consensual between two people. So
Yeah.
it's also about constant consent.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
not just a
communication.
one-time thing.
Not a one-time thing.
You can always
It's like sunscreen.
retract. Right.
You got to be putting it on all the time. Yeah.
Anyway, that's where we're at on that.
Ooh.
Congratulations. You're got a lot of thinking to do.
You've got to, yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
So that's going to be cool. Nice little change up. I don't
All
have to read this one.
Let's see what's up.
So I think my wife and I are headed for divorce due to a dead bedroom. I feel though it's a really personal topic and pretty embarrassing to talk to our parents about. And it's most likely going to come to a shock to a lot of people because we're both conventionally attractive and would seem to have the perfect marriage. My therapist has stated that we don't have to tell anyone why, but our closest friends and family will be curious and, probably pry down the road after we've had time to heal from the divorce. So what's a good way to explain this to someone when they ask?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh,
What can be your cover story for the
Well-
no fault divorce?
the essential fallback is always we grew apart, right? I mean, you can
We
keep
wanted
it
different
vague.
things.
Yeah. Yes, we wanted very different things. My wife wanted to be left alone and I wanted sex. Yeah, that's very different.
That is the argument.
It's-
That's the
I always used to love the old joke. We